This is a government that is intent on putting Australian seafarers out of work. There's no sugarcoating it. And you just have to see what they did around the MV Portland and the CSL Melbourne. They issued temporary licences to replace Australian-crewed ships doing very regular work. And you don't have to take my word for it, Mr Deputy Speaker. You only have to read the regulatory impact statement that accompanied their 2015 legislation effort. Their own regulatory impact statement stated that all the savings associated with that legislation was by putting 1,000 of the 1,100 Australian seafarers out of work. Rarely has a government, a Conservative government, been so honest in its attack on Australian workers. That RIS put out of work, if it had got through Parliament, 90% of Australian seafarers. And it's not just about Australian jobs, maintaining Australian industry. We're a maritime nation. There are huge national security implications to make sure that we've got an adequate Australian merchant maritime workforce. There's also huge environmental issues. In June this year was the 11th anniversary of the Pasha Bulker storm, when the Pasha Bulker washed up on Nobby's Beach in Newcastle, a foreign-flagged vessel, foreign-crewed vessel that ignored the warnings of the harbour master to move away from the coast of Newcastle. And we've also seen foreign-flagged vessels, foreign-crewed vessels, ignoring warnings to move away from the Great Barrier Reef. They've literally run aground and damaged sections of the Great Barrier Reef, imperiling a $9 billion tourism industry that employs 68,000 Australians, all because they want to undermine Australian vessels and replace Australian seafarers with foreign workers on $2 a day on flags of convenience vessels. And, Mr Deputy Speaker, what's the next step? Having Australian trucks on our highways replaced by foreign trucks, staffed by foreign workers paid $2 a day. This is literally just a logical extension of that. I urge this government to go back to the drawing board. We need a bipartisan policy solution that will survive changes of government, but this is not the way to do it. So I urge them to go back to the drawing board and come back with something that is actually workable and fair and will promote Australian seafarers.